members present for the Richmond County Board of Education meeting scheduled for January the 8th, 2019. It is 2019 and we're already 8 days gone into the new year. And all you young folks out there, when you find out when you pass 65, it don't speed up, it twirls really, really fast. And George, you're smiling there, but that's true. And yeah, but it goes really fast. Will the board please come to order? Mr. Etheridge.
Okay. You can join me with a moment of silence. You can stand or you can remain seated. Just a moment of silence. Okay. Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to introduce Corey Mayfield. She's a second grader at Monroe Avenue Elementary School. Corey will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Corey.
Board members, you have before you the minutes from open and closed session from our previous board meeting. Chair will entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion or changes? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of the minutes as presented, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Thank you very much. Mr. Superintendent, are there any changes to the agenda?
No changes, Mr. Chairman.
No changes to the agenda. We'll adopt the agenda by unanimous consent. That's the first time in a period of time that I have not said Madam Superintendent. We have Dr. Jeff Maples in the superintendent's chair tonight, and I'd like for everybody to give him a round and welcome him in.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank y'all.
Miss Brianna, we have our Inspiring Excellence Awards. That's the next thing.
Good evening, Chairman May, Dr. Maples, and members of the board. Tonight, I'm happy to share our very first Inspiring Excellence recipients for the month of January. These three individuals go above and beyond for East Rockingham Elementary School while exemplifying what better together means to Team RCS. I would first like to introduce Brianna Cohn. She is a first grade teacher at East Rockingham Elementary. Her colleagues describe her as a team player, one who always does what is best for children and the school, and willing to help anyone in need. She is a wonderful asset to the first grade team and always goes the extra mile to assist fellow staff members. From afternoon car duty in the pouring rain to collecting daily mile trafficking sheets, she always pitches in to help. East Rockingham is very fortunate to have her. Congratulations, Brianna.
Ms. Grant.
Next, I would like to recognize Ms. Tammy Deese. She is a bookkeeper at East Rockingham Elementary, but that doesn't even begin to cover all the different things she handles throughout the day for students and staff. She works diligently each day to make sure students and staff are taken care of and ensures that they have what they need. Tammy welcomes you when you enter the doors at East Rock. She makes sure staff members have needed supplies for their classrooms and ensures money is spent efficiently. Every school needs a person like Ms. Deese, who goes above and beyond the call of duty each day. Congratulations. last but certainly not least, one of the first smiling faces our students see every morning, bus driver Tamara Martin. Ms. Martin has been a bus driver for Richmond County Schools for 11 years. She begins and ends her day driving our buses but wears various hats throughout the day. She has taken on the music teacher substitute role this year, planning lessons and Christmas concerts while tutoring students in reading. She is willing to take on any role that is asked of her and is very knowledgeable about the students at East Rock. She is an asset to our school, assisting both students and staff. Ms. Martin is loved by all. Congratulations, Ms. Martin.
She did a great job this year with the chorus. Great job.
Ms. Kelly DeLong will talk to us now about secondary math teacher of the year.
Of the year, maybe of the universe. Chairman Dr. Maples and board members, this is a phenomenal math teacher, and he is Richmond County's own. Ishmael Gomez has won the North Carolina Council of Teachers of Mathematics Secondary Math Teacher of the Year for Richmond County Schools through a process where teachers were nominated. Ishmael was chosen for a variety of outstanding reasons. The first thing that I'd like for you to know is that he graduated from Richmond County in 2009, went to Appalachian State University, where he was on the dean's list as a Richmond County kid every year that he was an Appalachian. While he was at App, he decided that math teaching was what he wanted to do, and needless to say, we reeled him back in. So we are so glad that he is one of ours. I count on him for a variety of leadership positions. Ishmael is a mentor to all new 8th grade math teachers. If you need help, he turns it all over to you. He turns over lessons that he crafts at night and on weekends, and in the summertime you can find him attached right here to me. I call him up and I say, Ishmael, let's come do curriculum updates in the summertime. Okay, Kelly, I'll do it. So he's one that I can depend on. So I want to tell you that there could be no finer person that we could choose than Ishmael Gomez. And in the future, you may see him in Dr. Maples' position, because he is only 4 years into his teaching career, but he aspires to be a Richmond County administrator at some point in his career, and he's going to be fantastic. So, Ishmael Gomez.
Kelly, when is the state? When will?
It's actually, that is his award. He was awarded in October of 2018. There was a big ceremony in Greensboro, and he went up there and he got his award and his plaque among some other educators. So we're very proud of him.
And Mr. Long, Ishmael has brought a gift to him?
Oh, indeed. Ishmael's brother is an 8th grade student at Hamlet, and Giovanni says that maybe he's even smarter than Ishmael is. So we got maybe.
Can we get one more picture with Miss Allen, his principal here? Come on, Miss Allen.
Come on,
please.
Miss Allen.
You make it look a little better. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Mr. Ricky Young, would you please come forward?
Good evening, members of the board. Dr. Maples asked me to come by and introduce our 2 coaches of the year from our fall sports season for the Sandhills Athletic Conference. Mike Way was the girls tennis coach of the year. Mike couldn't be with us today. His son had a basketball game, and Mike's a family guy, so I'm sure you understand he wanted to go see his son play, but we still want to honor him. He did a great job. We all know Richmond County is not a tennis mecca, but we come in second place behind Pinecrest, played them very competitively, but he's done a really good job with our girls tennis program based on what the lack of really tennis facilities we have in the county. So he's done a really good job. So, if you see him, congratulate him. Our next one is Brian Teal for football. We know that we had a very good football season. We're very excited and proud to have Brian as our head football coach. He's done exactly what we wanted him to do when we hired him. He's improved the image of our program. He's improved the culture of our program, and of course the success of our program. We're very fortunate to have him, and congratulations, Coach Teal.
I do want to take just a second to say this while I have it. Obviously, when you win the Coach of the Year, that's voted on by the other coaches in the conference, it's really a reflection of our entire coaching staff. Obviously, administrative support, you guys support, and that just comes down to and to vote for somebody, and especially in a program this large with 20 assistant coaches. That's just it speaks to the volume from top to bottom of organizational support and strength all the way through. So thank you, guys.
You just stay right there.
Mr. Butler, Mr. Young, will y'all come up?
We don't have anything to make this look pretty.
We don't even want to get close to each other, do it?
It's a guy thing. Bro, it's a guy thing.
I think sometimes they don't realize the font size of this stuff.
Miss Brianna, Elves on the Run.
At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Jace Bendell from Hamlet Middle School. Jace is here tonight to discuss his very own 5K race, Elves on the Run. But this wasn't an ordinary race. Jace not only wanted to help everyone get active, but he also wanted to ensure that local students and families had a nice Christmas by donating the proceeds. Members of the board, Mr. Jace Bendell.
I first want to thank you for inviting me to the school board meeting and allowing me to share my results from the Elves on the Run event. It is an honor to be here. Because every child deserves a Christmas. On Saturday, December 15th, 2018, the first annual Elves on the Run 5K and 1 mile Jingle Bell Jog was held at the First Presbyterian Church in Hamlet, North Carolina. With the help of my church, my family, Richmond County Schools, the Hamlet Police Department, the Beta Clubs from Hamlet Middle and Rockingham Middle Schools, and lots of sponsors, volunteers, and donations, I now can call this event a great success. Can you picture Christmas music, hot chocolate and cookies, Santa Claus, people dressed up in festive attire, and of course, a lot of crazy runners racing to the finish line under a huge candy cane archway? Well, that was just the scene from this event. A lot of heartfelt people who came out to support a great cause and was able to feel the Christmas spirit a little more while participating. We had exactly 150 people to sign up to either run or walk in the race. There are numerous local businesses in our community and individual donors who also helped to sponsor the cost of the event, as well as make contributions to these students. This event would not have been possible without the businesses and sponsors in our community. All proceeds from the runners, businesses, and donors were able to help buy Christmas presents for over 35 students that attend Richmond County Schools. We were also able to donate some uniforms, hats, gloves, and coats to schools as well. I cannot thank everyone enough who had a part in this event. It was a lot of work, especially for a 13-year-old, but I'm excited to say it was well worth it. My hope is that this event continues to take place each year and gets larger and larger. This way, we can help more students each year get a Christmas Day dessert. Next year, be sure to mark your calendar as we plan to hold the same event at the same location on December 14th, 2019. I expect to see everyone in this room there.
Jace, I would just like to say thank you. Jace came to a principal's meeting, and there was a room full of adults in there, and some of them rather intimidating looking at you. You guys know that. But he came in there and he told the principals what he wanted to do, and he reminded us all about the true spirit of Christmas, about giving and helping others. So we applaud you for being a role model, not only for other teenagers, but for adults, and doing the right thing at Christmas time and hopefully throughout the year. But thank you so much for helping others have a wonderful Christmas. And do a pitch break.
One thing that wasn't mentioned, he's my grandson too. So, yeah.
His mother, Catherine Goodell, thank you too. She can help you.
Come on, Catherine.
You'll get the pictures for you.
We have teacher assistant scholarship candidates, Mr. Carter. Oh, excuse me. I missed one. Bright Ideas. I'm sorry.
Next, I would like to recognize Bright Ideas grant winners from West Rockingham Elementary School, Rebecca Burleson and Tanya Baldwin. Let's give these innovative leaders a round of applause as they come to the podium.
Thank you for having us. I'm starting to think maybe we were forgotten again, but maybe not. The Bright Ideas Education Grant Program, sponsored by North Carolina's electric cooperatives, strives to improve education in North Carolina classrooms by awarding grants to Tar Heel teachers in grades K-12 for innovative classroom-based projects that fall outside of the normal funding perimeters. Since the program began in 1994, more than $8.5 million has been given to educators across North Carolina for more than 8,300 projects, benefiting well over 1.5 million students. Certified North Carolina teachers from participating schools are eligible to apply for grants of up to $2,000. I don't know if they don't realize this. This is one of the easiest grants out there. Grant applications are accepted from April the 1st until September the 18th. I and my co-worker were one of many winners. I was awarded $1,500 for the project called Take Home Math Baggies. I am a kindergarten teacher at West Rockingham Elementary School. My name is Tanya Baldwin. Thank you for having me. Researchers over the past 40 years have genuinely found that manipulatives are a powerful addition to mathematics instruction, and found that achievement in mathematics could be increased by the long-term use of these manipulatives. Children whose mathematical learning is firmly grounded in these experiences will be more likely to bridge the gap between the world in which they live and the abstract world of mathematics. These take-home math baggies will include all of the manipulatives that we use in the classroom, such as circle counters, Unifix cubes, Play-Doh, dice, whiteboards, dry erase markers, 2D dimensional shapes, 3D dimensional shapes, 100 boards, vertical and horizontal. My kindergarten students learned about the difference between those this week.
number lines, 10 frames, number bonds, examples of the anchor charts that we use in the classroom. All of these will go into a baggie and will be given to the children to use at home. We will, of course, hold math nights for the parents to show them how to use these manipulatives to better help their children. Many of the students that Ms. Burson and I both teach that we have the privilege to work with are from lower income families who are struggling to put food on the table and clothes on their backs. So they don't have these things. Excuse me. So PD Electric's Bright Idea Grant will allow all of the kindergarten teachers, not just me, but all my coworkers, the ability to equip these young students with the tools that they need to practice math ideas shared in the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Rebecca Burleson, and I'm the PE teacher at West Rockingham Elementary. I've been there for 8 years, and this was my first time applying for Bright Ideas. One of my coworkers told me about it, so I decided to give it a try, and I was awarded a $1,200 grant for my project, Are You in the Zone? And at West Rockingham, my 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders do fitness testing. We do a pre-test at the beginning of the year and a post-test at the end of the year. And they are tested in 5 categories, which is cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength and endurance, flexibility, and body composition. And each student has a goal which is based on their age and gender, so for every student it's different. They are able to analyze their data because they keep a portfolio where they keep all of their things that we do in PE throughout the year. That way they can flip back and look to see what areas were their strengths and weaknesses. So my project, Are You in the Zone, allowed me to purchase equipment to help make my results more reliable for those tests. Some push-up testers, trunk lift testers, and a sit and reach flexibility box. And I was also able to get a software program that goes with the FitnessGram testing, which allows me to input all of the student data in the software and print reports that I can send home with the students so their parents can see, their strengths and weaknesses in fitness as well. I would like to thank PD Electric for this opportunity, and thank you for your time.
Ms. Sturgeon, will you come up too, please?
Okay, Dr. Carter.
Chairman May, Dr. Maples, and members of the board, tonight I come to you with a celebration. Several years ago, a program was adopted by the state that provided tuition reimbursements to teacher assistants in our district as well as other districts. 5 TAs from our district can be enrolled in this particular program at any given time. And they receive up to $4,500 per year towards pursuit of their teaching degree. Thus far, 1 TA out of this group has completed and is now a teacher for us. Her name's Brittany Bullard, and she works over at Monroe Avenue. We're excited to be able to help some of our TAs get into the classroom and get a little bit of help. Tonight, I'd like to introduce a couple more, 3 more, that we're trying to get in the chute for this program. Recently, we took applications and conducted interviews before Christmas to make new selections to fill the open positions. Miss Brandy Heath, who is not here tonight because her first class is tonight, and she wanted to tell you she's sorry she couldn't make it, as well as Philip Waddell, were selected to go into this program. They are number 4 and number 5. We can keep 5 at one time. Additionally, we selected Ms. Artoria Smith, as our first alternate. And when one graduates, then Ms. Smith goes in. So as I just think it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to have me, and I've got an opportunity to work with both. I've worked with Philip for a long time. I've known Oratoria for a long time, since she was little. So we also have a couple of other TAs in our program right now, and I wanted to tell you their names. Donald Pettigrew, Kelly King, and Miss Adrienne Flowers are all in this program as well. We wanted you to know the names of these people, and we also want to know their faces, because we want you to give them encouragement anytime you see them to help complete the program and get in our classrooms as teachers. So, y'all have any questions about the program? Y'all ready to get going? Let's get it done.
Any questions?
Yeah, if I could just say, I think, it's a great thing that we have, with this program. If I remember correctly, I think Senator Tom McInnes was one of the main
Original
sponsors of this bill for our school system. So it is definitely, we're on the right track, and it's a good investment of trying to invest in our own and give our staff the assistance they need to be certified with our system. So thank you. Thank you to Senator McInnes and everyone else that was involved in this process.
This is the easy part.
Yeah, this is easy.
I'd like to tag team on what Mr. Tillman said. A lot of folks don't realize that these folks, in addition to being employees, have families and going back to school. Now, they're not doing double time. They're doing triple or quadruple time on the personal side and the family side. So we really appreciate that, and this is a nice program. Mr. Alan Parker wants to talk about positive vibes.
Mr. President, Madam President, Distinguished Board, Dr. Maples, I'd like to thank Dr. Maples for giving us the opportunity to be on your agenda today. We're here to talk about some good things that happened at Richmond Senior High School. I understand that creating a safe and orderly environment in any school district is paramount. But what's most important, and more important than that, with our academics, is make sure that each child feel like they have a sense of worth or belong to something. After looking at data, and we know that data drives everything we do, from test scores to attendance to discipline. Mr. Butler and our administrative staff sat down and looked at some things that have occurred over the last 2 or 3 years. And we noticed a progress or degress of a lot of things that we put in place to make some of our disciplinary problems a lot more manageable. After looking at our data from year 16, 17, we looked at our OSS days and out-of-school suspension days. We understand that and see that in 17, we had about 1,760 days of OSS versus last year, 1,129 days, which is a decrease. Also, our incidences have dropped from 17,465 to last year, 331. Mr. Butler and I also looked at the semester. In 17, in the first semester, we had 39 fights. 18, we had 36 fights. And so far this year, we only had 6 fights and 1 today, which is 7, which is a decrease in a lot of things. We attribute this to a lot of things. One of the things that we did, what we're going to talk about today, is a group of young ladies that we'd identified as being some of our most problematic group. That was our black females. Our black females had the majority of our fights, about 95%. So we devised a group, Ms. Wells and I, along with Mr. Butler's support, to get these girls together and talk about some things, bring in positive people to talk to them. Our name was first was called the Chosen Ones, and the girls really didn't like that. So I said, Mr. Parker, we need another name. So they came with the name Positive Vibes Only. So I said, okay, you do good, we'll sponsor your shirts and get some shirts stuff on. So we got a group together out of that necessity. It cut down our ISS rates for those girls getting an ISS. Also, those girls going home for OSS. Most of the girls that were in that club created over half, 95% of the problem. But one girl, I won't call her name, but she graduated this past year. The year before that, she was in all kind of problems. Fights, disrupting class, didn't disrespect the teacher. But she graduated. She was on the verge of quitting. But she graduated last year and has done well. We've got a lot of successful stories out of this program. This group of girls have done tremendous things. We, as well, now taken them to Charlotte to Education Day, College Day, CIAA basketball game. We also plan on sponsoring a trip this year to go to DC to the educational museums and those type of things. But without any further ado, I'd like to have Ms. Wells come up and talk a little bit about it. I'm going to introduce you to the and then tell you why this program is out there.
Hello, hope everyone's doing well. I have had the pleasure of working with these young ladies at Richmond since I've been there. I've had the pleasure of seeing them mature over the years. A lot of these girls didn't like to stay in class and kept a lot of drama going, but they have put that to the side. They've started thinking about their goals and things they want to achieve in life, and they have gotten so much better. I'm so very proud of each and every one of them. We have a few of them that want to come up and say a couple things about themselves. Come on, Stacy.
As she's coming, one girl in particular, the folks came there, she couldn't make it, but she was one of our, matter of fact, she had about 2 or 3 fights last year. But at the beginning of this year, the first fight we had, we saw right in the middle of things, breaking it up and stopping the fight. So Mr. Butler gave her a honorary t-shirt, sweatshirt, just to let her know we care about what you did.
Hello everyone, my name is Stacy Short. I'm a senior at Richmond Senior High School. Being in the Positive Vibes Only Club has influenced me to become a better person. I improved my attitude, my attendance, and I also, after I graduate, I plan on furthering my education at Richmond RCS to become a travel nurse.
Hello, my name is Scarlett, and I am a senior. And this group has actually improved me, my attitude, and my grades. I stay in class. I don't catch attitudes barely. And let's see, I do plan on going to college and the military. I got accepted into 2 colleges so far, Wingate and Guilford, and I plan on going for my psychology to get my psychology degree.
Good.
Hi, my name is Nigerian Travers, and I'm a senior at Richmond. And being in the Positive Vibe group has influenced me to worry about myself, worry about my education, stay focused, stay drama-free. And my attitude has really improved. My grades has gotten better. I'm planning to go to Wingate and get my nursing degree, and really work hard. Maybe move up from CNA to RN.
Thank you.
When was this program started?
Mr. Parker.
Mr. Parker,
Yes, sir.
when did you start this?
2 years ago.
Okay.
First year there.
And how many members are in the
Well,
club now?
good question. We started out with 17, and now we have more than 41 in the study group.
Right, good. It's very good. I commend you on that.
Well, thank you very much.
And
Appreciate it.
if I could just say, I want to first of all say thank you to you young ladies and everyone that's participating in this club. I think it's a great thing. You guys have turned, it sounds like, and looks like you've turned some things around. The negative, turned it into the positive. Listening to you talk, it's not easy to stand up in front of a crowd and talk. You did an awesome job with that. Continue to move forward, and to hear you talk about going beyond high school, that's priceless, and then even hearing you talk about going to Wingate, that makes me feel even better. But keep up the good work, and just keep talking to your other peers, and thank you to the administrators for listening to the kids. you know, it's all about them, and you know, everybody's not gonna play sports, and so you know, to have clubs or little groups, dance groups, and things like that, it's gonna help keep kids in school and steer them in the right direction. That's what it's all about. It's all about the kids, and I appreciate you all, the young people, and definitely you all, the administrators and staff and everybody that's been involved with that. Great job.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
I'd like to also say something. I'd like to thank you young ladies for coming and taking this step so you can move forward in life and do the wonderful things that you were meant to do. And I would also like to thank Mrs. Wells and Mr. Parker, such positive individuals. It exudes every time I see you, and you guys can't help but change these young ladies' lives in a positive direction. Mr. Butler for having a wonderful culture at Richmond Senior High School. And you know, every time you walk in that high school, there's Mr. Parker right up front. His office is right up front, and that was pretty smart of Mr. Butler to do that for many reasons. But, you know, Mr. Parker, you're such a positive individual. Always have a bright smile on your face. And if you're not having a good day, bump into that man and your day will change, and he will make you have a positive day. But I appreciate you being over there and what you two do for our students.
Okay, Miss Pam Patterson, Federal Programs Update.
Can we get pictures? We gotta get pictures. Oh, guys, Coach Parker, Miss Wells, picture, please.
Get his students.
I'm not standing beside Mr. Parker.
I'm gonna stand behind him. Talk trash, brother. Ms. Patterson.
Now for the good stuff. Good evening, Chairman May, Dr. Maples, and members of the board. Please refer to your board docs for the PowerPoint that you see displayed. As part of the Every Student Succeeds Act, there are new school designations. This is completely separate from North Carolina's low-performing designations. And you know, we love acronyms in education, right? So I'm going to explain to you a little bit about the TSI and CSI school designations. The first one is the CSI Comprehensive Support and Improvement, CSI LG, and the LG stands for Low Graduation Rate. This identification occurs every 3 years. It occurs with schools that have a graduation rate less than 66.7%, and this year Ashley Chapel Educational Center is on that list. This is similar, though, to what they've been on designated in the past as a priority school. This takes the place of the priority school status. And along with it comes some federal funding that they received last year. They will receive again. That money has not dropped yet, but they've received that money to help with additional strategies for school improvement. And just to mention about the graduation rate, as you all know, it's an alternative school, and often students that come there are already off track for graduation. So you know, our graduation rate is a 4-year cohort group, so it's kind of hard to graduate in 4 years if you're already behind whenever you get to Ashley Chapel. So this is not really anything new, it's just got a new title to it. The second one is the Targeted Support and Improvement, AT, which stands for Additional Targeted Support. This designation deals with subgroups, and those of you, I think Ms. Ormsby, Mr. Mason, Mr. Richardson, Mr. Etheridge, if you remember No Child Left Behind and the focus on subgroups, and we had some acronyms that went along with that. Do you remember that? AYP and AMO, and so this is similar to that, except for it's for Every Student Succeeds Act, ESTA. And so we have actually 10 schools that's designated as TSI AT schools. And you will see them listed: elementary, East Rockingham, Fairview, LJ Bell, Monroe Avenue. middle schools, all 4 of our middle schools, and Richmond Senior High School. And those particular 9 out of the 10 schools have the students with disabilities as the subgroup that is underperforming. Ellerby as well has their English language learners, and then Ashton Chapel Educational Center, the white group, the white subgroup. So those are our schools. If you'll go to the next slide, you'll notice that over 1,600 schools in North Carolina are on this list. 1,635 schools. Of that over 1,600, 94% of those schools have this designation for students with disabilities. So it's obviously not just a Richmond County Schools concern. It is all across the state, and that, of course, is recognized. The good news is that for this first year, just for this first year, there's going to be some funding that's been set aside that's about $10,000 per school. So each of the 10 schools will receive funding for that, and we're starting to look at some planning along with the principals, and there'll be more of that. None of that money is even available at this point. However, there are uses. You know, of course, they always give us guidelines. Those guidelines are NC STAR training, which for these schools in the state, over 1,600, they have to use NC STAR. Well, we're already using that district-wide. All of our schools are using NC STAR, which makes us ahead of the game. So some additional training maybe for some of the staff members that are not as familiar with the school improvement process. Dr. Maples and Ruth and I have been the last couple years really working on that process with all of our schools, and I'm helping them get through how that's supposed to work. Comprehensive needs assessment we're already doing, so we really don't need additional help with that. We are looking at the possibility of professional development with our EC teachers and the core regular ed teachers in the area of possibly co-teaching. And we're in contact with the Serve Center as far as having that, for them to help provide that PD for us. This funding will have to be exhausted by the beginning of the year, so we're looking at possibly summer PD or maybe a summer institute. Okay. Dr. Maples, do you want to?
Any questions from board members?
I forgot what NC STAR is.
NC STAR is our, you know how we used to have the school improvement Excel spreadsheet and it had all the goals, and we had to use that. Well, this takes the place of it, except it's online. Okay. So it's each school has its own login, and it's on their websites, and the parents can log in and actually see what the goals are, and it has indicators and action steps, and it actually, for me, I think as a former administrator, makes the school improvement process easier to keep up with, to document, to revisit as we're supposed to do for continuous improvement.
The funds you mentioned are not available yet. Are they to be available this calendar year?
Yeah, yes, they are supposed to be available in January, and they have to be spent by September. So we will have to do it by the summer. Okay,
all right. And is it a lump sum that's got to be distributed between all the schools, or is it per school?
It's approximately $9,000 or $10,000 per school, but our plan is to meet, which we already have had some discussion with principals, is to kind of do a plan together, because that money has to be spent on improving these particular subgroups, which for the most part are students with disabilities. So that was our idea with Dr. Watkins of the co-teaching and inclusion for regular ed and the EC teachers, which we already knew. You know, the thing is, we already knew that was a concern and an area for improvement. So we were already working on that before this designation ever even came down. So that was a good thing. So we're ahead of the game. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about, you also have in your board docs, I mentioned this briefly at the December board meeting, that we had a federal monitoring visit, and there's not a PowerPoint, it's just your handout. And it went very, very well. I'll talk to you guys about that, and so I won't say that all over again. But we have our official report, and I'll tell you, as Susan Brigman says, although I wanted 0 recommendations, she said we will have recommendations because every school district can improve. That's out of her mouth before the visit even started. So we had findings are bad. So we did not have any findings at all, so that's a good thing. We had 4 recommendations, and you can see those that are listed. One deals with the format of information disseminated to parents that are non-English speaking. We have a few subgroups, a few languages, Arabic being one of them, where we don't translate documents or have not, so they kind of dinged us on that. So we have to look at maybe an alternative for that. And Dr. Jordan actually saw this at First Health. They use a service called Language Line, which had already been recommended to us based on this this monitoring visit. And it's basically translation services where the principal, whoever, the counselor, whoever that might be that needs something translated with a parent, they get on the phone with them, but it's a per minute charge. So that would be a possible solution. That we send home documents to our Spanish speaking. It's just there's a couple languages that are just one family or a couple families. So that's what they got us on that one. As far as the equity plan, this deals with distributing teachers that are high quality all throughout the district so that all students have access to high quality teachers. So, we will continue with Dr. Carter and the principals, especially because they work so hard to recruit and retain teachers. There's always, they're always working real hard this time of the year to get principals to go to recruiting opportunities or events, and so we will continue with that. We don't have them lining up at the door, so we have to work really hard to recruit teachers. There is a shortage, and that's not, of course, just in Richmond County. The last two deal with the service to migratory children and identification of our Title I pre-K students, and we have already been in contact with and actually met with one consultant from DPI, and I think there's a meeting tomorrow with the other consultant to make sure that we are in compliance with those requirements. Okay, do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to brag on Pam just a little bit since she won't do it, but whoever's the director of federal programs has to be really organized, and Pam is extremely organized and extremely smart. During this audit, they were coming in and they were going to talk to parents, they were going to talk to teachers to make sure we were all speaking the same language. And then after, was it 2 days they were here, Pam?
They were actually here one day, but
Okay,
they reviewed for several days
and
before.
they met with all our parents, they met with our teachers, they met with our administrators, and then they met with us to give us the findings. And the findings were glowing, and they talked that we were awesome, and it was a visit that they'll send other schools here to see how it's done right. So, Pam, I thank you for what you do, for how you communicate with our principals. I thank them and their teachers, what they do to make this all happen. And in federal programs, we get several $1 million to help level the playing field for our kids and give them an opportunity, hope, or a little lift up. And you do a very good job in making sure we get all the funds that we can for Richmond County Schools. So thank you, Pam.
I would also like to bounce off of what the superintendent said. I've been in your shoes in that program before. There's so much minutia in that program that you have to really be on top or you're going to float to the bottom. So I appreciate the job that you do, because I know there's an awful lot of caveats, a lot of detail in running that program. So you've done an excellent job, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board member reports. We have all been very busy since our last board meeting, and I'll start off with Mr. Campbell.
Well, I've got to visit a few things, but I have a situation in our house burned, and so that took up most of my time for the month of December. I just want to personally thank everyone for your prayers, your support, and your concerns, outpouring of the concerns. It means a lot to us. Just knowing that people care means a lot, and so we're making it. Right now I'm a temporary Hamletian, living in Hamlet for 4 months until they get our house fixed back. But we're settled and everything's going well. And so I just want to thank y'all for everything all your outpouring of kindness to us. I did get to go to a couple of Christmas programs at a couple of schools, and they were very good, enjoyed them. But unfortunately, I didn't get to attend like I wanted to, and I apologize, but I had extenuating circumstances.
Mr. Etheridge.
Let me just mention a few of the courses that I went to. And Donna, when are we doing the Arts Alive?
February 26th, 27th, and 28th.
February 26th, 27th, 28th. And I wanted to say something toward that, because anytime that we as board members go to a band concert, Christmas chorus concert over at Rockingham Middle, where they had, I think there was 27, 30 guitar players this year. Every one of them is so spectacular, and it's our privilege to be able to go and see what these people have done from the beginning of the year to work that way. One of the ones that Ronald and I had opportunity to go to was this year over at East Rockingham, and Tamara Brown Tamara Barton that just came here a few minutes ago. She's a bus driver, and I think she started sometime the late part of September because West Trail went down to Hope County. So she came in and started working on with a group of kids, and then she did a Christmas program for East Rockingham School, not even being, a certified music teacher, but she went through and did that, and it was great. It was really great. I also had the opportunity, I think in life, and I was telling Darrell about it, Miss Maples saying positive things about him. When I was in the 5th grade, I met John Fowler for the first time, who was Richmond County Schools. I think he retired from Richmond County Schools, but he was my band director in the 5th grade. I was 11 years of age, and you don't think about that as you are going through. And then back in December, he passed away, and they asked me would I share at his funeral. And I took my trumpet, which is 57 years old, and I played Mary Had a Little Lamb, which was the first song that he taught me how to play. And I said, this is what band directors and course directors are putting into our students, something that will go a long, long, long way. Another thing that I went to over at Fairview Heights this year, the Duke Energy employees that work out on Airport Road, there's about 65 to 70 of them. Every year, I know the last 2 years, the first year they did it, they raised $10,000. This past year they raised $15,000, and then Vanessa Tillman was one there, Yvonne was there, our guidance counselors, our principals, all got together, and they had needy families that came, and the crew, I think it might have been 8 or 9 from the Duke Energy, and this is not the Duke Energy Corporation as such. This is a Duke Energy employees that do this here. And by hamburger, hot dog sales, by doing a golfing tournament, they raised $15,000 this year, and they gave that out to students in 4 different schools in Richmond County this year for Christmas. And I just thought that was so great. But I just wanted, again, you said February 26, 27, 28, and I want us to really publicize that because that's such a great opportunity to publicize our band, our chorus, and our arts, arts that they're learning in the schools.
Mr. Tillman.
Yes, I had an opportunity to attend the Christmas Gala at the Cole Auditorium. I had Richmond Senior High chorus and the band. They did an amazing job. I can't remember the teacher's name, but I mean, just her enthusiasm, and it sounds like she has a good relationship with the kids. Yeah. So that was really, really good to see that. I also had an opportunity to attend a Christmas dinner. It was sponsored by the Masonic Lodge 331, where they donated $1,000 to the homeless students of Richmond County. Had Paulette, I think Wall with the homeless school coordinator was there to receive the check. And I think, I think at the last meeting, Mr. Richardson had mentioned about doing something good for families because everybody wasn't going to have a good Christmas. And just to hear and see a lot of the good things that were going on within our school systems, school system was really, really great to see. I attended several middle school basketball games and a couple high school basketball games. Ashley Chapel Education Center had a Christmas dinner. Attended that, and one of the things that I really was impressed with was every child that was in our school system, every parent, every relative received something that night, some type of gift that night. And I thought to be able to sit down and enjoy Christmas dinner and at the same time recognize the kids for the great things that they're doing, and then at the same time to be able to give someone a gift. Like I said, you just don't know what a person is going through. We all struggle, and but just to see that was just great. I thought that the principal, Kevin, and his staff did an awesome job with that. And then lastly, I did attend for the second year Middle Springs Elementary School. They had an ugly Christmas sweater contest. That was where I was served as a judge. And if you guys, if you ever have opportunity next year, this year, when they do it again, is get by and see that. The kids, they involved the kids this year. It was just awesome. It was really, really nice. The kids were involved in the little skits, but it was a great event. And the kids did an awesome job, as well as the staff. And that's all I have.
Ms. Warren?
I too went to several of the Christmas concerts. Our Richmond County School Arts and Band and music teachers do an awesome job. It's just wonderful entertainment, and it's always so good to see what good things they're doing with our children and to expose them to so many good things. Sometimes when you go and you hear the music and you think, how in the world did they learn that? So, it makes you real proud. And speaking of being proud, I've been sitting here checking off as we're going down, and every single thing on this agenda so far that we've done has been some positive things about Richmond County Schools. It just makes you feel really good. We have good things going on in Richmond County Schools, and I appreciate everybody that has any part. Their whatever they do to contribute to this is awfully good. But it's just so good to sit here and listen to all the good things. And when the Bright Ideas program, I thought when those West Rockingham teachers got up, I thought they have participated just about every year. It is a wonderful opportunity. And I thought, well, they surely do take advantage of that. But good things, lots of activity with sports, so good things are going on in Richmond County Schools, and I appreciate everybody that has any part of it.
Mr. Richard?
I attended a lot of the Christmas programs. All of them were good. If you ever want to see anything good about Richmond County, or if you ever have any doubts about Richmond County schools, you need to participate in some of those, or not participate in them, but attend some of those Christmas programs and the people behind those programs, because it had to start with the teachers, an initiative on the part of the administration or somebody. They're all great, every one of them, and also attended some Beta Club induction. But I was thinking on the lines of Ms. Ormsby a minute ago, as a former educator and as a board member for the last 8 years, it pleases me to see the first 7 items on the board agenda had to do with winners. Student winners, teacher winners, coaching winners, and that's a little bit unusual. That's just about half of everything on our agenda tonight was about positive things going on in Richmond County schools and winners. And, people just need to take notice about things like that, I believe. So my hat's off to all of them.
Mr. Mason?
No report.
Okay. All right. Dr. Maples?
I was just going to piggyback a little bit on what Mr. Richardson said. Sometimes we don't showcase the wonderful things going on in Richmond County Schools as much as we should. So certainly that's something I want to do, and I want to thank everyone that came tonight to recognize our students, or recognize the adults for the difference that they make with our students. I would also like to thank our chorus teachers, our band directors for the wonderful programs that they provide for us, not only over Christmas, but in the spring and the fall and throughout the year, because without them, our children wouldn't have this wonderful opportunity. And we certainly have some very talented students who get the opportunity to work with some wonderful adults. Kate Smith, from the principal at Monroe Avenue, was interviewing for Regional Principal of the Year on last Friday. So hopefully I know she did well, and hopefully we'll get some good news soon. But she's certainly a wonderful principal that will go far, I think, for us as we move forward. But I want to thank her. We had a school visit at Hamlet Middle School on Monday. It was a wonderful visit. We have one more visit this Thursday at Rockingham Middle School, and we will have finished visiting all of our schools. And we enjoy visiting our schools, and I think our principals, for the most part, enjoy us coming. We try to find the positive things that are going on in the schools and go from there. We all know that we can grow in places, but we try to find the positive things going on and thank our teachers for what they're doing. So it really gives us that opportunity to be out there and give them some attaboys and to encourage them, because we know that's the place where we have to support them and provide that support for them. But we enjoy those visits. But the last one is Thursday at Rockingham. We have a spelling bee that is scheduled for January 31st. I think you have that card at your desk. And it would be nice if you could be there, so you can make a room in your schedule. I have my first Superintendent's Teacher Advisory Council meeting tomorrow, and those are our Teachers of the Year, so I'm looking forward to meeting with those guys and getting some input and feedback from them and how we can make this school district even better. So I'm looking forward to that and getting to know them. I also have a School Health Advisory Council meeting on January 17th at 3:15, and certainly you guys are encouraged to come if you'd like to come, but also looking forward to getting some feedback from those stakeholder groups. The Dr. King Luncheon is January 21st, and certainly I'll get you those tickets if you know after the meeting, and looking forward to that luncheon to celebrate Dr. King's life and what he meant to us. As you came in tonight, you probably saw your pictures on the TVs and stuff, but January is Board of Education month, and certainly we want to thank you guys for everything you do and the tireless work that you do and your commitment to Richmond County Schools and what you do. You know, we're a team, and I just want to thank you, and I don't think sometimes we thank you enough, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for what you do for our students to make Richmond County Schools wonderful. And thank you for your leadership. You have your goodie bag. Make sure you look through that and look good and hard and don't leave anything in that. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, that's it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Items to be declared as surplus.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask for your approval to sell all of the broken technology equipment to the state vendor, Powerhouse Recycle Company. Our technology department has gone through this, and either they cannot fix the equipment or it's outdated. And we also have other items on the list that we would like to list as on govdeals.com to be sold as surplus.
Okay, all right. Chair will entertain a motion to declare these items as surplus.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to approve these items as surplus and the sale of those with a proper second. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, will vote. All votes in favor of this item, let them know by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Thank you very much. Mr. Quick, policies for adoption.
Good evening, Chairman Mabe, Dr. Maples, members of the board. We have several policies that I introduced to you last month for your consideration. I'd like to bring those back up to you for adoption this month.
Okay.
Make the motion.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? All those in favor of adopting these policies, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Thank you very much. Policies for review.
Yes, sir, we have a few policies for review also. 6401, ethics and purchasing function. 7610, defensive board employees. 7730, employee conflict of interest. 8305, federal grant administration. 9100, licensure, school maintenance employees. 9110, use and selection of architects, engineers, surveyors, and contract managers at risk. And 9120, bidding for construction work. I'd like to present these for 30-day review.
Okay, thank you very much. I understand on field trips, we have quite a few field trips with quite a few students.
Yes, sir, we do, and it seems that we're all going to the same place, though, just at different times. We have Beta Club trips that are planned, and Beta Club trips planned to Greensboro for the Beta Club, State Beta Club Convention for middle schools and the high school and early college. I'd like to propose those for your approval, please.
Motion to accept the request as presented.
Second.
Have a motion to approve the field trips as presented with a proper second. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Thank you. We appreciate it. The next item of business is a resolution, and I will ask the vice chair to preside over that, as I will neither discuss nor vote on it. I'm conflicted.
Thank you, Mr. Mabe. The next item on the business agenda is surplus property. I'll call on the Board Attorney to present this matter.
Thank you, Madam Chairman and Chairwoman and board members. For the public, you know this, but for the public, surplus property is property which is unnecessary for school purposes. And there's a surplus property list. The health inspector went to the kitchen, I believe Richmond Senior High, and told our child nutrition director, Mrs. Hood, to take an item out of the kitchen. It's a buffalo grinder. It has an oil leak. It's just not safe. And so she did so, and that's been placed on our surplus property list. Our board chairman has, strike that. Mrs. Hood states that that buffalo grinder is only valuable for scrap metal. That's the only thing that she can do with it. It's just discard for scrap metal. Fair market value of scrap metal is $75. And our board chairman has offered to purchase this item for the same price, $75. And in order for a board member to contract with the board, buy property from the board, sell property to the board, the other board members have to approve this item. So you have a resolution before you allowing the board to sell this buffalo grinder to Wiley May for $75. Any questions?
I'll make the motion.
I was going to ask for a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the matter? All in favor of the motion, please indicate by yes or a show of hands.
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed, same.
I'm just gonna oppose on it. Just see conflict.
Motion carries. I will now turn the chair back over to Chairman May.
Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion to go into closed session under North Carolina General Statutes 143, 318, 11A1.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go into closed session. All in favor, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. We are now adjourned to go into closed session. Board is now back in session. Dr. Carter, personnel report.
Chairman May, before you on board docs is the personnel report and an addendum. I'd like to ask for the board's approval at this time.
Motion to approve personnel report as presented.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Mr. Tillman and a second by Mr. Richardson. All those in favor of the personnel report as presented, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Thank you, Dr. Carter. Does anyone else have anything come before the board this meeting? If
Chairman,
not-
I move to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn with a proper second. All those in favor of adjourning, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Board members, we are adjourned.